I don't think there's a word in the English language that can describe how frustrated I am, and I don't even think frustrated is an understatement. I've sat here for 18 months and listened to the same kind of answers we've heard tonight. And we've sat here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We've had 20-some people question the three of you. And I know now, 2.5 hours later, what you don't know. You actually traveled to Arizona, and you didn't meet with anybody who had anything to do with this directly. You took your wife. It was the Easter weekend. We understand that plan. You didn't meet with anybody that was directly involved from all the testimony in these 20 people right here. If I was in your shoes, I would describe this as a 5-alarm fire, and you're rushing to the scene, and you're bringing mutual aid because the house is on fire and nobody's going to survive. And I sit here and listen to the three of you, and I'm thinking to myself, the question I leave here tonight with, and probably my colleagues, what do you know? What we know is that people died. So I guess the question I want to ask would be on behalf of the families that probably aren't in this room tonight, but we've heard from some of them. I heard from Barry Coates here 3 weeks ago that has a death sentence and a death warrant for something that was no fault of his own because he couldn't get a simple colonoscopy. People died. We sit here and we're asking all the same questions. But if you have an opportunity, I'm going to give you an opportunity because you're all three sitting here. This is carried live. What do you want to say, Mr. Lynch, to the families of these people that lost veterans? What do you want to say on behalf of the VA? Here's your opportunity.
Congresswoman, on behalf of myself, first of all, I take personally any time that a veteran has been harmed because of something the VA has done wrong.
Dr. Lynch, does the buck stop with you on these deaths? Do you accept the buck of the responsibility for what's happened? Are you responsible?
Congresswoman,
yes or no? Are you responsible? Does the buck stop with you, Dr. Lynch?
I don't know whether it does, but I consider myself responsible, Congresswoman.
Ms. Mooney, does the buck stop with you? Do you feel responsible? Can you look in the eyes of these families and say, I accept this responsibility?
Congresswoman, I am the daughter of an atomic veteran.
Yes or no? Are you
yes.
responsible?
I am responsible for ensuring that our focus at this point, and I'm sorry, Mr. Cook, that we didn't make this perfectly clear to you. Our focus remains on caring for our veterans. We want to make absolutely sure.
Ms. Mooney, this is my time that I have, a limited time. I've sat here for 18 months as a freshman. I've gotten very few answers to any question I've ever posed to you or anybody else. I'm still waiting on questions about a South Bend CBOC in South Bend, Indiana, to serve my veterans. Mr. Huff, do you share this responsibility? Does the buck stop with you?
Congresswoman, I am
yes or no?
I am a staff-level congressional relations officer who is a civil servant and also a veteran. I'm not a supervisor. I'm a staff-level federal employee, and I do the best job I can.
Mr. Huff, does the responsibility lie with Secretary Shinseki? Do you still believe in his leadership ability to stand up to a 5-alarm fire? Where in the world is the urgency? I can sense the urgency of this committee, Democrats and Republicans, because our nation has totally lost its trust. It's our responsibility to sit here and continue to maintain oversight, and we can't find out where the buck stops. I've asked for Secretary Shinseki's resignation when the American Legion report came out. You've heard several different people asking the question, does the buck stop with you? Do you accept this responsibility? Are you ready to accept this responsibility and look in the eyes of the American people and our veterans and say what? What do you say tonight? I know what you don't know. What do you know that you can tell the American people that they can learn in 2.5 hours of a committee meeting?
Congresswoman, our focus remains on caring for these veterans. We join you in this. May I finish?
No, because I have 5 minutes. Ms. Mooney, if that has been the case, how could Dr. Lynch go to Arizona and not talk to anybody involved that had anything directly to do with this, and there's 40 unexplained deaths, there's an IG report that has fact, and you all seem to have turned the facts to a general counsel, and we know less tonight. I have more questions tonight than I've had when I walked in here, because we learned what you don't know. But my question is, and it's going to have to go unanswered, what do you know?
We know that the facts of that report are utterly reprehensible. That is what we know. And we owe a debt to all our veterans who served, every one of them.
So are you responsible?
I'll
You accept
take
that responsibility? And what are you going to do with that responsibility? Are you going to stay in your position? Are you going to apologize?
I am going to
Are you going to resign?
Congresswoman, I'm going to stay in my position and fight for veterans and fight for this Congress that I love, working together and really meaning it, working together for the good of our veterans. That's what the public expects, and that's what I'm committed to.
And look what the public got. The public got, and 40 veterans died. This is what the public got.
And we understand that, and we view that report as totally, the facts of the report, as totally reprehensible, inexcusable, and unconscionable.
Thank you, Ms. Mooney. Ms. Jackson-Lee, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman,